In the bustling world of morning television, where smiles are as bright as the studio lights and conversations flow like freshly brewed coffee, an unexpected storm brewed on the set of Lorraine Kelly's popular ITV show. The date was a crisp autumn morning in London, and the guest list featured none other than the legendary Dame Judi Dench, an icon of British cinema whose career spanned decades of acclaimed performances from Shakespearean tragedies to blockbuster spy thrillers. Lorraine Kelly, the affable Scottish host known for her warm demeanor and relatable chit-chat, had invited Dench to discuss her latest memoir, a reflective tome on life, love, and the silver screen. The audience, a mix of devoted fans and casual viewers tuning in from their living rooms, anticipated a delightful exchange filled with anecdotes and laughter. As the show opened with its signature upbeat theme music, Lorraine welcomed her viewers with her trademark enthusiasm, chatting about the week's headlines before introducing her esteemed guest. Dame Judi entered the set with poise, dressed in an elegant ensemble that spoke of timeless sophistication, her eyes twinkling with the wisdom of years in the spotlight. The initial moments were pure charm. Lorraine complimented Dench on her enduring vitality at 89 years young, and Dench responded with a witty quip about how age was merely a number, especially when one had played queens and spies. They delved into her early days in theater, reminiscing about her breakthrough roles and the mentors who shaped her craft. The conversation meandered through her Oscar-winning turn in Shakespeare in Love, where she portrayed Queen Elizabeth I with such commanding presence that it earned her the accolade in just 8 minutes of screen time. Dench shared behind-the-scenes stories, like how she improvised lines that became iconic, and Lorraine nodded along, her laughter genuine and infectious. The segment seemed set for a harmonious flow, with the host probing gently into Dench's personal life, touching on her late husband Michael Williams and how his memory influenced her work. Yet, beneath the surface, subtle tensions simmered as Lorraine ventured into more contemporary topics, such as Dench's views on modern Hollywood and the evolving landscape of acting in the digital age. Dench, ever the candid soul, expressed mild reservations about the industry's shift towards superficiality, but Lorraine pressed on, perhaps sensing a juicy soundbite. The audience at home sipped their teas, unaware that this seemingly innocuous interview was on the brink of escalation, a clash of personalities that would soon make headlines across tabloids and social media platforms. As the discussion deepened, Dench's responses grew sharper, her British reserve giving way to pointed remarks, while Lorraine maintained her professional composure, steering the ship through what was becoming choppy waters. Little did anyone know, this exchange would culminate in an unprecedented moment for daytime TV, forever etching itself into the annals of broadcasting blunders. The build-up was gradual, with each question layering on the last, creating a tapestry of dialogue that wove admiration with subtle confrontation, all under the watchful eyes of producers and camera crews who monitored every nuance. By the time the first commercial break loomed, the air in the studio had thickened, charged with an electricity that hinted at the drama to unfold. Resuming after the brief intermission, Lorraine Kelly leaned forward with a smile that masked any underlying unease, eager to dive deeper into Dame Judi Dench's illustrious career and personal philosophies. The conversation pivoted to Dench's recent projects, including her voice work in animated films and her advocacy for environmental causes, topics that initially kept the tone light and engaging. Dench elaborated on her passion for conservation, drawing parallels between the fragility of nature and the ephemeral nature of fame, her voice carrying the gravitas of someone who had witnessed the world's changes firsthand. Lorraine, ever the skilled interviewer, interjected with questions about Dench's experiences working with younger actors, probing into generational differences in approach to roles and set etiquette. Dench responded thoughtfully, praising the energy of newcomers while lamenting the loss of traditional rehearsal methods in favor of quick turnaround productions. The exchange flowed smoothly at first, with Lorraine sharing her own anecdotes from interviewing Hollywood stars over the years, creating a sense of camaraderie. However, as the segment progressed, Lorraine steered towards more sensitive territory, inquiring about Dench's opinions on the #MeToo movement and its impact on the industry, a topic ripe with potential for profound insights. Dench, known for her forthrightness, shared her support for the movement but cautioned against blanket judgments, emphasizing the importance of due process and nuance in such matters. Lorraine nodded, but her follow-up questions grew more insistent, perhaps aiming to elicit a stronger reaction for the sake of viewer engagement. The studio audience sensed the shift, their applause tapering into attentive silence as Dench's expressions hardened slightly. Undeterred, Lorraine pressed on about specific scandals involving Dench's past collaborators, naming figures like Harvey Weinstein, with whom Dench had worked on multiple films. Dench defended her professional choices, stating that hindsight was a luxury not afforded in the moment, and that she had always conducted herself with integrity. The back and forth intensified, with Lorraine suggesting that silence in the face of rumors could be complicit, a remark that struck a nerve. Dench, her voice rising imperceptibly, countered that assumptions without evidence were dangerous, drawing from her own experiences of being misquoted in the press. The dialogue, once a gentle stream, now resembled a rushing river, with each participant holding their ground. Producers in the control room exchanged glances, monitoring the escalating tension, while viewers at home began tweeting their reactions in real time. Hashtags like #DenchOnLorraine trending sporadically. Lorraine attempted to defuse with a joke about British stiff upper lips, but Dench's retort was swift and pointed, highlighting the host's tendency to sensationalize for ratings. The atmosphere crackled with unspoken words, the camera capturing every furrowed brow and crossed arm, immortalizing the moment for endless replays. As the interview teetered on the edge, Dench's patience wore thin, her legendary composure cracking under the relentless probing, setting the stage for the confrontation that would define this episode. The exchange, rich in subtext, revealed layers of both women's personalities. Lorraine's persistence as a journalist clashing with Dench's protective guardedness, creating a narrative that transcended mere celebrity gossip. The turning point arrived like a thunderclap in the otherwise composed studio, as Lorraine Kelly posed a question that veered sharply into personal territory, asking Dame Judi Dench about rumors surrounding her health and whether retirement was on the horizon. Dench, who had openly discussed her macular degeneration in the past, bristled at the implication of frailty, her eyes narrowing as she responded that such inquiries were intrusive and irrelevant to her professional output. Lorraine, sensing the discomfort but perhaps misjudging the depth of it, doubled down by referencing tabloid articles speculating on Dench's ability to continue acting, framing it as concern from fans. This ignited a spark. Dench leaned forward, her voice laced with indignation, accusing the host of perpetuating ageist stereotypes that plagued women in the industry. The audience gasped audibly, the murmurs rippling through the seats as the exchange heated up. Lorraine defended her line of questioning as standard for public figures, but Dench fired back, pointing out the double standard applied to male actors of similar vintage who faced no such scrutiny. Words flew like arrows at Dench, labeling the interview as ambush journalism, Lorraine insisting it was merely exploratory dialogue. The verbal volley escalated, with Dench recounting instances where media sensationalism had harmed her peers, her passion evident in every syllable. Lorraine attempted to steer back to lighter topics, suggesting they discuss Dench's favorite trolls, but the damage was done. Dench's responses grew curt, her body language closing off as she crossed her arms defiantly. The control room buzzed with activity, producers debating whether to cut to commercial, but the live broadcast marched on, capturing the raw authenticity of the moment. Viewers at home were glued to their screens, some cheering Dench's festiness, others sympathizing with Lorraine's position as host. Social media erupted, posts dissecting every gesture and phrase, memes emerging almost instantaneously. Dench, her frustration peaking, questioned Lorraine's preparation, implying the host relied on gossip rather than genuine research. Lorraine, her cheeks flushing, retorted that the show aimed to humanize celebrities, not idolize them. The argument circled around themes of respect, privacy, and the ethics of entertainment journalism, each woman articulating her stance with eloquence born of experience. Dench invoked her knighthood and contributions to the arts, demanding better from daytime TV, while Lorraine highlighted the show's role in connecting stars with everyday people. The intensity built, voices overlapping in a cacophony that drowned out the studio's ambient sounds. Security personnel hovered at the edges, alerted by the rising decibels, as the confrontation threatened to spill beyond words. This pivotal segment, fraught with emotion, underscored the fragility of on-air dynamics, where a single misstep could unravel the facade of politeness. Ultimately, it was Dench's unyielding defense of her dignity that propelled the interview towards its explosive conclusion, a testament to her indomitable spirit amidst the glare of the spotlight. The exchange, now etched in viewers' minds, served as a mirror to broader societal debates on aging, fame, and media responsibility. As the heated exchange reached its zenith, Dame Judi Dench stood abruptly from her seat, her face a mask of controlled fury, declaring that she would not tolerate being treated like a spectacle for ratings. Lorraine Kelly, taken aback but maintaining her poise, urged Dench to sit back down and continue the discussion civilly, but the actress was resolute, shaking her head and removing her microphone with deliberate precision. The studio audience watched in stunned silence, the air thick with disbelief as Dench verbalized her disappointment in the show's direction, calling it a betrayal of the trust guests placed in hosts. Producers scrambled behind the scenes, signaling for an immediate commercial break, but not before the cameras captured Dench's parting words, a scathing critique of sensationalism in media that prioritized drama over depth. Security escorts appeared discreetly, guiding Dench off the set amid whispers and wide-eyed stares from crew members. Lorraine, left alone on the couch, addressed the camera with a composed apology, explaining that passions sometimes run high in live television and assuring viewers that the show respected all guests. The abrupt exit sent shockwaves through the broadcasting world, with immediate reactions flooding in from colleagues and fans alike. Backstage, Dench reportedly composed herself quickly, exchanging brief words with staff before departing the building, her dignity intact despite the chaos. Lorraine's team huddled to assess the fallout, deciding how to proceed with the remainder of the episode, opting for lighter segments to ease the tension. News outlets picked up the story within minutes, headlines blaring about the unprecedented walk-off, complete with video clips circulating virally. Analysts debated the implications, some praising Dench for standing her ground against invasive questioning, others critiquing her for overreacting on a platform meant for promotion. Lorraine later issued a statement expressing regret for any offense caused, emphasizing her admiration for Dench's work and hoping for future reconciliation. Dench's representatives responded measuredly, affirming her commitment to honest interviews but underscoring the need for mutual respect. The incident sparked broader conversations about the boundaries of celebrity interviews, with experts weighing in on power dynamics between hosts and guests. Social media platforms buzzed with polls and threads, users divided between Team Dench and Team Lorraine, memes proliferating with exaggerated reenactments. Television historians drew parallels to past on-air meltdowns, noting how this one stood out for involving two revered figures in British culture. The video footage, replayed endlessly, dissected every micro-expression, fueling speculation about underlying personal animosities or scripted drama. In the end, the kicking off, though not literal but metaphorical in its ejection, cemented the episode as a landmark in TV lore, a reminder that even the most polished productions could unravel spectacularly. The aftermath rippled through the industry, prompting reviews of interview protocols and sensitivity training for hosts. Dench, ever the professional, moved forward with her schedule, her reputation enhanced by her assertiveness in the face of adversity. In the wake of the dramatic exit, the media frenzy intensified, with every outlet from broadsheets to gossip rags dissecting the Dench debacle as it came to be known. Lorraine Kelly's show ratings spiked paradoxically, drawing in curious viewers who tuned in for the next episodes hoping for more fireworks, though Lorraine herself adopted a more cautious approach in subsequent interviews. Dame Judi Dench, unfazed by the spotlight's glare, continued her promotional tour for her memoir, fielding questions about the incident with grace and humor in other appearances, often deflecting with anecdotes that showcased her wit. Public opinion swayed in waves. Initial sympathy leaned towards Dench as the elder stateswoman standing against perceived bullying, but some criticized her for disrupting the show and potentially alienating fans. Lorraine received bouquets of support from fellow presenters, who shared stories of their own challenging guests, reinforcing the unpredictable nature of live TV. Online forums exploded with theories, From conspiracy claims that it was a publicity stunt to psychological breakdowns of the body language involved, Dench's fans rallied with campaigns highlighting her achievements, flooding social media with clips of her finest moments, countering any negative narratives. Lorraine, in a follow-up segment, reflected openly on the experience, admitting that boundaries can blur in the heat of conversation and pledging to learn from it. Industry insiders speculated on long-term effects, wondering if such clashes would deter high-profile guests from morning shows or inspire more authentic dialogues. Dench's memoir sales surged, the controversy acting as unintended marketing, propelling it to bestseller lists across the UK and beyond. Interviews with witnesses. Anonymous crew members leaked details of the off-camera atmosphere, painting a picture of mutual respect turned sour by miscommunication. Television regulators reviewed complaints from viewers who found the exchange distressing, though no formal actions were taken, deeming it within broadcasting standards. Dench and Lorraine reportedly exchanged private correspondence, aiming to mend fences away from public eyes, a gesture that spoke volumes about their professionalism. Cultural commentators analyzed the event through lenses of feminism, ageism, and class, noting how Dench's aristocratic poise clashed with Lorraine's working-class relatability. Late-night shows parodied the incident, with comedians impersonating the duo in skits that exaggerated the drama for laughs. The viral nature of the clip ensured its place in pop culture montages, often cited in discussions of memorable TV moments. As time passed, the sting faded, replaced by a shared narrative that humanized both women, flawed, passionate, and dedicated to their crafts. Dench's legacy remained untarnished, her kickoff seen as a bold assertion of self-respect, while Lorraine's show endured, its host wiser for the ordeal. The episode served as a cautionary tale for aspiring interviewers and a badge of honor for Dench, proving that even at the pinnacle of fame, one must fight for one's voice. Reflections from peers like Emma Thompson and Helen Mirren praised Dench's courage, solidifying her status as a role model. Ultimately, the heated exchange, though regrettable, enriched the tapestry of entertainment history, reminding all that beneath the glamour lies real human emotion. Years later, the infamous confrontation between Dame Judi Dench and Lorraine Kelly would be revisited in documentaries and retrospectives, a footnote in the annals of British television that illustrated the fine line between engaging discourse and explosive discord. Dench, continuing her remarkable career into her 90s, often referenced the incident with a chuckle in interviews, transforming it into a story of empowerment rather than embarrassment. Lorraine Kelly, her show a staple of morning viewing, incorporated lessons from the event into her hosting style, fostering environments of empathy and clear communication. The public's fascination lingered, with fan edits and analyses popping up on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, dissecting the psychology behind the clash. Both women emerged stronger, their reputations bolstered by how they handled the aftermath. Dench with unapologetic authenticity, Lorraine with humble reflection. The incident prompted industry-wide discussions on mental health in media, advocating for better support systems for on-air talent. Dench's advocacy work expanded, using her platform to address age discrimination, turning personal grievance into societal change. Lorraine's autobiography touched on the episode, offering insights into the pressures of live broadcasting and the humanity of celebrities. Reunions were speculated upon, with fans clamoring for a joint appearance to bury the hatchet, though none materialized, adding to the mystique. The video script of that fateful day became a case study in media training courses, teaching aspiring journalists the art of de-escalation. Dench's filmography grew, with roles that echoed her real-life resilience, earning her further accolades and standing ovations. Lorraine's show evolved, incorporating more diverse voices and thoughtful segments, ensuring its longevity. The heated exchange, once a scandal, mellowed into legend, a reminder that conflict can catalyze growth. Social media archives preserved every tweet and post, a digital time capsule of collective reaction.